I'm Chris Raybon from the Action Network here with Darin Gardner, and we're going to be debating who should be the top quarterback in this year's NFL draft. Should it be Trevor Lawrence or the late gaining hype man, Zach Wilson? Darin, I'm going to kick it to you. Tell me why it should be Trevor Lawrence.
All right. Well, I mean, what can I really say that hasn't already been said about Trevor Lawrence? I mean, tore Alabama apart as a true freshman in the national championship, 34-2 record as a starter, undefeated in the regular season as a starter. Yeah, right in the top 10 in adjusted yards per attempt every single year. I don't really think it's that close, to be honest with you.
I do think it's that close. And listen, if you would have came to me maybe last year and said Trevor Lawrence, without a doubt, absolutely. But we got to remember, this is a time period in a quarterback's life and anybody's life where they're still developing. These guys are young guys. Quarterback is such a mental position where you're refining your mental ability, you're refining your ability to kind of marry the mental and physical together. And I was extremely impressed with what Zach Wilson did this past season at BYU. And that's because of not just his numbers, which obviously were impeccable, but his arm talent. You look at Zach Wilson and you compare him to Trevor Lawrence. And with Trevor Lawrence, you see a guy who's no doubt going to have success in the NFL, but the arm talent doesn't stand out the way it does for Zach Wilson. I mean, Zach Wilson gives you shades of Patrick Mahomes, shades of Aaron Rodgers. He's just slinging the ball all over the field. And if you look at difficulty of throw, because I know everyone's going to bring up degree of difficulty with Zach Wilson being at the school he was at compared to Lawrence at Clemson. And you look at the depth of target, and Zach Wilson's throwing on average about 2 yards deeper downfield, and he's completing his passes at a higher rate. And that does take out some of the noise, because you are looking at just how accurate was this guy when he releases the ball compared to where his receivers are at. You know, it's not about, who's got the better receivers, the better offensive line, although we can get into that. So I just think the arm talent gives Wilson the ability to be just an elite generational difference-making quarterback with the upside of a guy like a Mahomes or a Rodgers. Whereas Lawrence, I think the upside, the floor is just as high, but I think the upside is just a little less because he doesn't have that Superman arm talent that Wilson does.
I'll kind of push back on the arm talent. I think Lawrence is right there with Wilson. And one thing I would add is the level of competition they both played this year. I mean, if you look at Wilson, he only played one top 30 defense in terms of SP+, only 2 of the top 40, and actually 9 of his 12 came outside the top 60. If you look at Lawrence, he played 2 of the top 20 and 8 of his opponents were inside the top 60. And another thing was the pass rush that Zach Wilson faced. 8 of his 12 opponents ranked outside the top 70 in sack rate.
Yeah, and listen, you're always going to be able to come at Wilson with the level of competition. Like, I'm not going to debate that, being that he was at BYU, you had Lawrence at Clemson. But what I will say is when you look at the numbers under pressure, Wilson was still the better passer. So you're removing noise. You're just looking at them in certain situations. Wilson was the superior passer under pressure. And I think that comes back to just the amazing things that he can do with his arm. And listen, it's not just me. It's not just me. Chris Sims, one of the better quarterback evaluators, I think, of our time. Sims' track record is impressive. For example, last year, he had Justin Herbert over Tua. The year before, he had Dwayne Haskins third behind Drew Lock, when a lot of people had it the other way. The year before that, he has Patrick Mahomes, or a couple years before that, he has Patrick Mahomes over Watson and Trubisky. So, this is a guy that knows his stuff, and he's gone on record. And by the way, he also had Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson over Mayfield and Darnold, which was another pretty contrarian opinion at the time. This is a guy who's come out and said clearly, not even just barely, but clearly, Wilson is the number one. I think it's close. Don't get me wrong. I think both of these guys will be excellent passers, but when I see two guys with a high floor, I'm going to go with the guy with the arm talent that just makes me do a double take, especially when he's been more accurate. He's been better under pressure. So that's why I like Wilson. I know it's a contrarian opinion. I know Lawrence is going to go number one to the Jacksonville Jaguars, but that's my case for Zach Wilson. This was our debate. Darin Gardner, Chris Raybon. You can check out more on the entire NFL draft at actionnetwork.com and in the award-winning Action Network app.